They say a sizable chunk of the fortress was eradicated so completely, it's as if it were never there. It's hard to believe such a feat would be possible with artifacts or magic from the Dark Ages, let alone modern technology. It might be a different story if the Septarians were involved. However, what on earth is a Septarian? Well, there's something of a myth known only to archaeologists and those of us who study ancient legends. The Septarians are said to be 7 all-powerful treasures bestowed upon humanity by Aidios herself. Legend has it that those who possess these treasures use them to gain dominion over the sky, the sea, and the earth. It's hard to imagine something that powerful could even exist. It's certainly more exciting to imagine a Septarian is behind this instead of a weapon made by Crossbell or the Republic. Although, to be honest, the chances of that are practically nil. Even so, my mind keeps wandering back to the orbital shutdown phenomena that occurred in Liberl 2 years ago. Perhaps the two incidents are related somehow? They couldn't be. They could be. They very much could be. I'm rather concerned about the future of the Academy. The worst-case scenario would see the Academy closing its doors for an indefinite length of time. I'm sure it would dishearten the faculty and students alike. None of us can tell with certainty what's going to happen from here. As such, it seems like the best course of action is to plan out our responses to any possible situation. Yeah, but who knows what's going to happen? That's the issue. It's like anything random could happen at this point. The fortress has been annihilated, likely taking its commander's life with it. To make matters worse, Crossbell has blocked off the Transcontinental Railroad, put extra pressure on the economy. It seems that this nation has more than enough excuses now. And how unfortunate that is. The Chancellor's speech will likely change the course of history. I'd rather not exert myself so much. I'm not as young as I used to be. Yeah. It's just that sort of thing like, Well, not much we can do but wait till noon for the Chancellor's broadcast. I'd rather not hear his voice spilling out over the airwaves, but this is too important to miss. You really don't like him, do you? He was the one who picked a fight with me, and I'm not going to let him forget it. I've got every intention of returning the favor after what he did to the Bracer Guild in Heimdall. Just thinking about it makes me want to punch something. Maybe I should have brought a beer to the classroom after all. Maybe a whole keg. Don't look now, but Vice Principal Heinrich is giving you the evil eye. Things have gotten pretty crazy recently, but I don't want you to look away. You need to understand what's happening. The Student Council is handing out a radio to every class, so don't worry about finding one for yourself. Just make sure you're back in the classroom by noon. Oh, we do have one ourselves, so it's fine. I get that you're worried, but try to stay calm. If you want to take a break from the academy, now would be the time to ask your homeroom teacher. Given the way things are going, you probably get approval, no questions asked. Alright, I should go give the student council a hand. You want to make sure every classroom has access to an orbital radio. Did that instructor of yours not inform you that all classes are cancelled today? You have the option to remain within the academy for self-studying or returning to your dorm until school hours are over. The contents of this speech will determine how this academy will conduct itself going forward. In order to give proper instructions, we need everyone to remain safely ensconced within the academy. We have prepared ourselves for a vast assortment of contingencies. Not that any of that matters to the likes of you. Get back to your classroom. Instructor Neidhart, I wasn't aware that you'd returned to the academy. That I have, Schwarzer. It's good to see you here. Sounds like Class 7 put on quite the performance. That's very kind of, Wait, weren't you in the fortress during the attack? Crossbell's mystery weapon just annihilated it. How are you alive? I was on the training grounds with the rest of the 4th Armored Division at the time. We saw something appear in the sky to the east, and the next moment, the fortress was surrounded by a blinding light. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it with myself. I still hardly believe it. Can't bring myself to imagine what would have happened had the light engulfed us. I'm just glad that you weren't hurt. But things must be incredibly busy for the Imperial Army right now. You could say that. The fortress was our primary stronghold in the east, so losing it has us scrambling. Especially now that Crossbell has proven itself just as much of a threat as Calvert. Which is precisely why I'm resigning from my position as an instructor at this academy. Wait, what? It wasn't an easy choice, but it's my duty as a man and as an Erebonian to devote my all to the military in this time of need. Although I do wish I could have been here to see the festival. Instructor Nightheart, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for us. I'll be praying for your success and your safety. Likewise. I'm sure the future holds challenges that only you and Instructor Valestein can overcome. Know where you stand and what you are capable of, and brace yourself for whatever the future demands of you. Yes, sir. To put it bluntly, the army is in a state of disarray. However, we cannot remain docile when the enemy treads on our land. This isn't just about the army. It's an affront to the entire Erebonian Empire. Know where you stand and what you are capable of, and brace yourself for whatever the future demands of you. As military cadets, all of you will be directly involved in what's to come. Know where you stand and what you are capable of, and brace yourselves for whatever the future demands of you. Oh, I know what the future demands of me. Like, jeez. It's gonna be a doozy! I fear Chancellor Osborne's predictions may have been right, and the turbulent times that he spoke of are at hand. But do not fear. We are a military academy. We are well prepared for emergencies. All you can do for now is remain calm and wait for the speech at noon. Chancellor Osborne's predictions seem to have been right. The turbulent times he spoke of may indeed be at hand. However, we each have our own duties to fulfill right now. They should be our priority, for the sake of a better future. I mean, I'm glad you're looking towards the future. It's gonna be a hell of a future. Just put it that way. Let's put it that way. How are you still working on stuff? Well, I really don't care. The only thing I care about is dedicating myself completely to my work, body and soul. Well, at least some things never change. Perhaps you should focus on what's most important to you at the moment, too. I should get myself a cup of tea. I'm thinking back to how I felt during our field study in Nord. Really don't want to see a war break out. Not just for Nord's sake, but for Erebonia's too. After all, this country feels like a second home to me now. See, I have that with Crossbell. Weird. It's like that second home idea. It's like, yeah, I'm worried about the people here and everything that's going on, but I'm also worried about everything happening in Crossbell. It's like, I worry about everyone, and I want everyone to be okay. Millium, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I haven't seen her today. That's not unusual, though. Today is technically an ordinary school day, so she wouldn't have been here anyway. That's fair enough. You keep making those teas, people will need them. Keep them calm, get those tannins going. Before all this, I was worried about what I was going to do after graduating. But who knows what's going to happen after the Chancellor's speech today. Sorry. We second years are supposed to be the ones supporting you first years at a time like this, not vice versa. There've been a ton of bad rumors floating around lately, but now it feels like they might have been right. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, so we're all a bit anxious. I've heard that they're gathering on Vinecoeur Street in Heimdall for more protests and demonstrations. My dad's been really busy too, and that doesn't come as much of a surprise. Doubt I'll have much time to just relax and enjoy good music if war breaks out, will I? Elliot. Sorry. Not really much point in getting worried right now, huh? Besides, I've got this feeling, you know. Like everything will be okay as long as Class 7 sticks together. Guess the best thing to do right now is just keep calm. Right, whatever happens, we'll stick it out together. Still some time to go before the Chancellor's speech. I'll shake this uneasy feeling, but guess right now, best thing we can do is keep calm. What else are you gonna do? It's really scary to think that a war might break out. Maybe I should go home to Mom and Dad in Roa. But as a super niece, I can't just leave Uncle Makarov here alone to fend for himself. Can't take any chances now that the fortress has been destroyed. Worst case scenario, I'll drag Uncle Makarov back home with me. And someone else. It would seem that we are truly on the verge of war. Why must the world be filled with such tragedy? I joined this academy to spread the joys of love, not prepare my students for the horrors of war. My family is demanding that I return home, now that the situation has taken a turn for the worse. However, I can never bring myself to abandon my students at a time like this. I'll be here listening to the Chancellor's speech right alongside them. Like, something I'd be interesting to, learn about right now is, what's happening in Liberl? Because right now it's we may find out in, Azure. That might be a possibility, but I would genuinely like to know what's happening in Liberl right now. Because it's Crossbell have attacked Erebonia. There's rumors that Calvert are backing up Crossbell. It's Liberl are gonna be what? Guys, what's happening? This is what the non-aggression pact was all about. I find myself worrying about how the children are taking all the news of late. Sister Ornella seems awfully worn out because of it all. Times like these, the very least I can do is make my way along to the church. Hopefully, I'll at least be able to provide some solace to those who are suffering. As an apprentice sister, I should do all I can for those around me. Hopefully someone such as myself can provide some solace to those who are suffering. Yes, everyone's suffering at the moment, really. Hello. A fragile flower such as myself cannot bloom on the battlefield. Perhaps it will be wise to return home while I still can. No, I cannot let my chance for a fateful encounter with the perfect man slip through my fingers. Two lovers, thrusting together by the looming shadow of war. Just imagine the possibilities. The stories we could tell our kids. I mean, it sounds grandiose, I guess. I assume someone's on the roof. Yes, there we go. No one else, just you two. Very well. Marine? Hey, Emma. Wasn't expecting to find you here. Oh, you've got Celine there, too. Well, she just kinda made her way up, yeah. I was just giving her a little attention while I took a break. You're looking for Crow and Millium, I take it? Yeah, I have no idea where to even start, though. Those two are always up to something. Oh well. I'm sure I'll run into them eventually. Good luck in your search. Hey, Emma. Is something bothering you? Well, it's about Crossbell. I'm concerned about any weapon that could annihilate a fortress of that size, of course. But I'm almost more concerned about the whole sequence of events that led up to that. Exactly. It almost feels like something's hand is guiding all of this to happen in a very specific way. Don't let it get to you, okay? I think maybe all the novels I've been reading lately have just made me paranoid. Nah, it's all the other games I've played that made me paranoid. And you raise a good point. One worth keeping in mind, I think. Anyway, I'll catch you later. As soon as I find Crow and Millium, I'll head back to the classroom with them. Alright, I'll be waiting for you. Yes. The government's scheduled to broadcast their announcement at noon. Do have some things weighing on my mind right now, but this doesn't seem like the time to be thinking about them. Make sure you're back in time to hear the broadcast, okay? Very well. Yes, indeed. Right, so I'm assuming that's the rounds done. Like, looking at all the people that are around, we have spoken to everyone. So let's head off to the Old Schoolhouse. Let's see who we can find down here. There's not any dots here. Nope. Just gotta be sure. Gotta be sure.
Nothing out of the ordinary has happened here in the Old Schoolhouse ever since that night. We kind of ended up pushing it to the back of our minds, what with the way things have been going in Crossbell. Huh? It's unlocked. I wonder if someone's already inside. George is in the engineering building right now, so it can't be him. If any of the students just idly wandered in here, they'd be in real danger. I should probably take a look inside, just in case. I checked around inside of the old schoolhouse, but there didn't seem to be anyone around. But all the same, I didn't want a chance leaving anyone down there, so I decided to check the 7th floor. Millium?
Oh, Reen! Come to take a sneak peek too?
Is this where you've been the whole time? You do know we have class, right?
Oh. Dang, I knew I was forgetting something.
Honestly. So, what's piqued your interest? It doesn't look like this thing has anything in common with Erebonia.
I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that it might, at least a little. Not the same, but like they share some kind of underlying principle.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
I guess you wouldn't really understand without being connected. But now it makes sense why Gramps asked me to keep an eye on this place, though. I had no idea there'd be something this cool down here.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Chancellor Osborne? Did he know there was something like this here?
Not really sure. He just asked me to keep an eye on the building itself.
And how would he know there's something here?
And said to let him know if anything unusual happened. Whoopsie! That was supposed to be confidential.
So, the Chancellor has an interest in our quaint old schoolhouse, does he? We did just find out that Captain Claire is a Thors graduate, but...
Hey, what you thinking about?
Say, Millium, was investigating the old schoolhouse the reason you enrolled at the academy?
Well, sorta, but it was more of a side thing. There was a more important reason, but that kinda stopped being a concern. So I guess it's just this now.
Something more important than this? Not sure what she's getting at. Doesn't sound like she's trying to hide something important from me, though.
Oh yeah, it's almost time for Gramps' speech, isn't it? I guess I should head back and listen to him drone on.
Oh, so you already knew about that. We were all planning to listen in the classroom.
Sweet, I'll just listen with you guys then. What are we waiting for? Let's go!
Nothing keeps you down for long, does it? Oh yeah, you haven't seen Crow around anywhere, have you?
Huh? Nope. Is he cutting class too?
Well, he's probably just hiding out somewhere on campus. None of the others have seen him, though. I wonder if he went into town.
Huh, maybe. Wanna try looking around, Trista? I'll come with you.
Sounds like a good idea. If he's not on the school grounds, chances are he's somewhere in town. All right, let's see if we can find him.
Okay, so are we gonna track down Crow?
Might as well. I guess we should start with the dorms first. Maybe Sharon knows where he's gone.
Okie dokie.
Check with the other dorms first, I believe. Maybe he's in here, just kicking back and relaxing and... Oh, I thought there was no one here then. Hello, monk. I've got my own radio, so I'll be listening to the speech in my room. I hear the Chancellor's got a great voice, but to be honest, it's not as good as mine. The only one I want to hear, though, right now is Misty's. Why couldn't they just have had her do the announcement? Up Time's been on hiatus since all the urgent news broadcasts got started. I miss the sound of her voice. It's like an angel's. Like mine. This situation has all of us incredibly worried. But even so, we can't let it get us down. There's still lots left for us to do, so I'll get back to helping Toe once I've calmed down a bit. She said she'll be distributing orbital radios throughout the academy, so I might be able to help her with that. Yeah, you might. Let's check the upper class dooms. Oh, hello. Most of the upper class students have returned home. I'm sure that the lower class students will follow suit if war breaks out. But if that happens, what's going to become of the academy? Perhaps I should push those thoughts from my mind. I'm sure my worrying won't help matters. what will become of the Academy if war breaks out? I should just focus on cleaning. Yeah, it's just that dread in the air right now. Lady Ferris has declared in no uncertain terms that she will not be leaving the Academy. As a maid of the Floral family, it is my duty to heed the wishes of both Lady Ferris and Master Vincent. With that in mind, it seems we will remain at Thors for a while longer. There's a very real chance that, given the danger of the situation, that will cease to be a valuable option. Should that be the case, I will drag the two of them back home myself. I could see that happening. Father strictly demanded that I return home. However, I cannot heed such a command. I am the graceful and noble Vincent Floral. One such as I could never flee if it meant leaving his beloved sister behind. Bearing that in mind, I must convince Ferris to return home with me at once. Where I am graceful, she is clumsy, you see. It would hardly befit me to leave her here on her own. Yeah, you go with that, mate. See how well that works out for you. Probably not well. You've forgotten how badly you lost to me during the festival already? That's why I want to take you on again. I've been sharpening up my skills since then, so let's play some blade. Doesn't matter. Still gonna lose. You're really getting on my nerves. Both of us can destroy Crow now, so it's time we settle things between us. You're looking for Crow? Sorry, haven't seen him today. How about this? I'll give you this picture of Rosine from the festival if you beat me. And you're going down. Wait, where'd you even get that? Rex, probably. Before he went into the mood he's currently in. Most likely. One must not abandon their faith, no matter the circumstance. I trust that Adios will lead us all down the correct path. Let us pray so that the teachings of the Church may provide us a light in these dark times. I trust that Adios will lead us all down the correct path. Let us pray so that the teachings of the Church may provide us a light in these dark times. The current state of affairs has caused many people to come here and offer their prayers. The Septine Church is an advocate of peace and rationality. In times like these, we must do all we can. Let us pray so that Adios may save our sinful souls. Septine Church is an advocate of peace and rationality. Let's pray, sinful souls. Got the idea. You're all sinful. You're all going to Gehenna. Damn you all. Where's Kenny today? So boring without him. He's, busy. We'll go with that. He's busy. No one around? Ah, there we go. Emil said that he finds it hard to study with things the way they are. I understand how he feels too. Can't even relax at home when things are like this. I want to do as much as I can for my children, but I'm not really sure how exactly to go about that. What's the best thing to do here for my children, I wonder? Yeah, I don't know. Things have gotten much more complicated at work ever since Crossbell declared independence. Unfortunately, this means that we'll be inconveniencing clients who usually depend on us. But I made sure we've taken the appropriate measures. There's only so much we can do in a position like this. What we can do now is wait for Chancellor Osborne's speech. There's no point in panicking at the moment. All I can do for now is wait for the Chancellor's speech with my family. Last thing I want is for them to sit here worrying all on their own. Aww. At least that's something, I guess. I planned on showing up at Sunday school for once, but apparently they're on a little hiatus. The current situation has Mum and Dad feeling nervous too, which makes it somewhat hard for me to focus. Bet situations like these don't even faze Kay and Rudy. Bit jealous, to be honest. Yeah, I would be too, mate. I would be. So if you could just be like, it's no bother, whatever. War, yeah, who cares? Yeah, like, loads of people are gonna die. Right? That's what happens in a war. The newspaper... What's going on with this newspaper? I mean, it's backwards for a start. This newspaper is very weird. It's like behind him, but then you can see it through Noi. This is weird. I honestly still find this whole situation hard to believe. So do I. What's going on with the newspaper? The fortress is impregnable. kind of crazy weapon did Crossbell use in order to take it down like that? It's like something out of fiction. Half convinced it's all a hoax. Seems like everyone else is as taken aback by this as I am. But the kids are still cheerful enough at least. Seeing some happy faces makes dealing with all of this a bit easier. Yes, I bet it does. Issue 11. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Everyone at the academy seems worried about things will play out. Try to cheer up though. Even if things seem bad now, I'm sure it'll all work out. If you stay pessimistic all the time, you won't notice any of the good things that happen. Flowers may wither away, but the world goes on. We just have to keep believing that everything will work out. Do we though? Do we have to? Crossbell's new weapon is like a waking nightmare. Not even our armored divisions stand a chance. This may well be our end. No, as long as Chancellor Osborne is here to lead us, I'm sure things will be fine. If anyone can lead this country through times this trying, it's the Chancellor. I'm sure Chancellor Osborne will be able to get us through this. They call him the Blood and Iron Chancellor because he's in his element when things are at the most perilous. Yeah, but even this beyond him, right? Right? Unbelievable. Usually shopping is all it takes to lift my spirits, but it's not having any effect today. I never expected this anxiety to impact my day-to-day life this much. I should go home and listen to the Chancellor's speech too. Hopefully things will be sorted out soon and I can get back to enjoying my shopping sprees again. Yeah, hopefully. It's just, everything's just so depressing and it's like, oh. All these rumors about the fortress being wiped out and Calvin invading us are starting to pick up a lot of traction. Can't even laugh at the crazy stuff old man Abbott says anymore. All I can do is help people try to forget that stuff with a good cup of coffee. I've got an orbital radio here, so I'm gonna listen to that speech of all of my customers. Might as well treat them to a round of coffee on the house while we're listening, I suppose. I knew it. I knew things were going to get worse. What is the world coming to? I hope we can keep our youngsters from getting involved in all of this, at least. We adults caused all these problems, so it's only natural that we suffer the consequences. You youngsters don't deserve to be punished for our sins. Things aren't looking too good right now. The Transcontinental Railroad's been stopped, so the government might have to buy vegetables and crops indirectly. My dad in Caldic's a wholesaler, so he's panicking like mental too. The Grand Market's doing now thanks to this. So it's safe to say that commerce in general is not looking good. Commerce is all about the flow of products and people. This situation's stopping that from happening though, so things aren't looking too good for commerce. Everyone's so tense these days, it's just awful. Even Fred's starting telling me I can go back home if it makes me more comfortable. Isn't that a silly thing to say? How can I go back home when I'm already there? Trista is my home now. Been here for a long time and I've grown to love it. Besides, Grandmother has moved on from Sutherland to Adios' side, so I don't intend on living anywhere but here. Our company's taken a big hit due to the IBC asset freeze. That hit became a wound when they stopped the Transcontinental Railroad. They've been using airships to bring stuff in from LaBelle, but there's only so much they can carry. I'll probably base my next moves on what we hear during this speech. Okay, there we go, some stuff about LaBelle. As Becky said, commerce is all about product flow. I'll probably base my next moves on what we hear during this speech. So again, it's like, yeah, like what's going to be happening in LaBelle? At least we got a little bit, and it's like, okay, so commerce is still happening between them, there's still movement, there's still airships. Like, okay. Everyone I talk to nowadays seems so sad. It's kind of depressing. And I can't let them get me down. I've got to stay on my toes. I'll cheer everyone up by giving them my brightest smile when they come in. Can't change the situation by myself, but I can try to make everyone's days a little happier. If I don't, maybe I'll end up depressed too. Aww. I've told the rest of the shopkeepers to make sure they listen to the speech at noon. Mainly because we gotta have a meeting about what to do next once it's over. Still, no matter what the Chancellor says in his statement, I'm not going to let anything happen to Teisel. Me and the other shopkeepers are going to have a meeting about what to do next once the speech is done with. No matter how things turn out, we've just got to keep going. Yeah, it is like, I mean, I know we live in a world where there's a pandemic and stuff like that right now, but it is very much that case of like, war would be worse. But there is a similar feeling, isn't there? It's just in the sense of like, we don't know what's going to happen. Things are going to get bad. My parents sent me an extra big allowance, but I'm really not in the mood to spend it. I guess it's another day of window shopping for me. I'm not going to be able to do this kind of stuff if we end up going to war, am I? Just thinking about it is making me depressed. Obtaining fabric has become a real pain now that the Transcontinental Railroad has been shut down. Our owner is very picky about the quality of the fabric we use, too, so it's possible that we'll have to close. You truly never know what life has in store for you, do you? I never could have seen this coming. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying things like that to a customer, but as of now, we're still open for business. Go ahead and browse around. This might be one of your last chances. Ooh. Again, it's just like... that sort of thing, like, everyone's dread is just bubbling to the surface, and it's like you can't help yourself but say such things. It's been a few days now since Crossbell declared their independence. Guess the Chancellor's just about to make his move. He's not exactly known for holding back when he means business. For better or worse, things are going to start happening and fast. That's what I'm afraid of. Hey, don't get so down, kid. I ain't proud of it, but I get stuff wrong all the time. This might be the same deal. Seems like he's actually trying to cheer me up. Just keep listening to your radio. Whatever happens, today is going to be one for the history books. Indeed. I'm glad, like, there's nothing, like, really around that I have to pick up, at least. In terms of, like, the curios. Always worrying I'm missing stuff, but it's like, no, I seem to be okay. There's an awful lot to be worried about these days, especially the increasing number of demonstrations in Heimdall. I put on a brave face for my husband, and it gets even scarier to watch him leave for work every day. No matter what Chancellor Osborne has to say, I just want my husband to stay by my side. They closed the office for the day, so I just got back. I'm glad I get to listen to the big speech at home at least. All signs are pointing to those rumors I've heard being true, though. And there's nothing more important to me than my family. All I want is to have them be by my side. We're really on the brink of another war. Maybe I could take my family back to the countryside. I'd say avoid Keldic. Just a general idea. Avoid Keldic. Mommy and Daddy are all sad. They're not even playing around anymore. Don't like this. Mommy and Daddy keep talking about stuff I don't get. I don't like this. Aww. Alright, so I think we should end this part here, and in the next part we'll check in the dorm, see if Crow's there, and speak to Sharon, all that type of stuff. So we'll see you in the next part. Ta-ta for now.